Unity News is a power source for the citizens of Flint, Michigan, to voice their opinions on what needs to be done in the community.
Leon, how do you pronounce the whole name?
Leon Abdullah EL-ALAMIN.
Okay, good. God bless. And we just want to check out some things that you got going on. We just really want to, what's your perspective? What do you have going on? I might want to ask a few questions based upon things that happened in the past with the election for the board, but really just here to, see what you got that's going on new and now. What's popping?
Well, I'm a zoning board of appeals officer. I was just elected to that for the city's first award.
Okay.
I'm also an author of the first book, Hamish Poetry. That's all down on Amazon major outlets. I'm also the CEO of M.A.D.E Institute, which stands for Money, Attitude, Direction, and Education. We work with average youth and ex-offenders returning home. We're kind of like an entrepreneur, employment, training, character variants, and program for individuals with criminal history. Very excited about that. We just got our board established, got our, we got our nonprofit status, and so making some things happen on that. So community activist, man, born and raised here in the city of Flint. 34 years of my life, and just being really involved, care about people, and seeing the upbringing of our city to rise to its glory days.
Okay. Now, the acronym that you use as far as M.A.D.E, what brought that about? Because when you said money, I was like,
The concept, for M.A.D.E, it's kind of like it's a concept. I wanted to make it kind of like catchy and kind of be like my hook to reach the younger crowd. So when you say money, the attitude, direction, education, in the capitalist democracy that we live in, where we know we need money to survive, but you also got to have a kind of right mind state to do the right things with your money. You need the right attitude, and you also got to have direction to go on those right, with the education to get you where you need to be. So that's kind of like.
So with that, as far as in your organization, will you be providing the from the young to whatever the age may be as they trying to re-enter into the American society, basically? Where will you be offering a program as far as financial understanding?
Definitely. That's one of the key elements of our program is entrepreneurship and financial literacy, so to say.
Okay.
That we'll be establishing in the program.
Okay. So you have qualified financial officers, or?
Yes, sir. I have MBAs and accountants and things that's well educated in the program that will be teaching these classes.
Okay. Because one of the things I see as myself as a problem is that I see some of these young kids, young adults, I say, purchasing, the blue jeans and the different clothing wear that cost, a person's paycheck or a person's mortgage payment, and I'm like, do you realize all the hours that it took you as far as the job that you had to put it in, and not the value, the hours that you actually put in to purchase this for a small degree of utility, because after, I don't know, a few hours or days, they don't have that feeling. They don't make you feel good no more. They just a pair of blue jeans at the end of the day. So why was it so important to give up so much of part of your life and time to purchase something that wasn't going to give you that much satisfaction?
I can definitely relate to those individuals who find themselves doing that. Because that used to be me when I was young, when I was out here misguided. I was influenced by a lot of the things on TV. I wanted the Jordans and things of this nature. Not knowing, I didn't have that guidance at home. I was raised in a single parent home. The educational school system at the time was still kind of like what it is. It wasn't teaching us financial literacy, the value of a dollar. My mother did the best she could.
Right.
But as you get older and you're around your peers and this is what everybody's doing, you just kind of follow the crowd.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why I took it up on myself to make sure this is one key element of the program.
Okay.
Teaching them, financial literacy, better ways to invest their money for the long haul, especially when you're coming from, you really don't have, we live in paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
If we have a paycheck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
With that, is there any avenues as far as, 'cause I think a lot of that also boils down to the psychological of the person. And if we don't understand where this or that has stemmed from, like you said years ago, you kind of gave some history to saying that I realized I wasn't raised with this, but now I have this. But what about the family that's not just they don't have the truth element as far as how to understand themselves and the financial and how to be effective in society? What about the ones who are being totally directed to this is the way, and I don't care what nobody else say, this is the right way? Are you set up to reach them? Because most times when we have programs, it comes to a person's understanding when they finally hit a brick wall and they say, you know what, I need to revamp, I need to change, I need to evaluate what's out there for me. Those will seek you. What about the ones who may not necessarily be looking for you? Do you have any plans to set up to gravitate to them?
Definitely, that's what makes our organization so unique. Because you have the individuals such as myself who can reach this generation, this crowd over here, as you just spoke about. But I also am on board. I have individuals who are educated, who have been through those roads, who can reach that other crowd, reach those other individuals that you're speaking of. So, we put our elements, our talents together, we pull our resources, we can reach everyone. So that's why it's so good about having like a diverse group of individuals that we work with.
Okay, that's good. What are some of your how do people gonna know about your organization? What avenues have you went?
Right now we use
Taking.
I'm sorry, but right now we use Facebook. I have my personal web page. We're in the process of getting a M.A.D.E web page designed, but my personal web page is www.EL-ALAMIN.com, and my phone number you can get 810-835-8304. I'm very direct. If you genuine, just don't come playing on my phone. That's my personal number, but I'm a real person, man. I'm an everyday person. I'm always in the community. I don't care if the lows are the lows, some with society may say, or the highs are the high. Because I'm in the boardrooms and I'm also in the streets. I'm a real person like that. So you can reach out and find us that way until we get our webpage established.
Why is that? I mean, I've noticed that about you. As far as some of the Facebook and some of the news footage that I've seen you a part of, especially with Unity News. But why is that so important that that you are out there in the public and you're very approachable and touchable to the people, which are some of the attributes of a leader that today we're kind of that's eluded or it's not there. But you being there, being like that, why is that so important for you? Do you ever get tired of it?
Nah, you never get tired of it. As I said, coming from that history, that single parent, that broken family structure in the community, we don't have those leaders of the Malcolms and Martins that some of the generations prior to us have, man. They don't teach it, all our history in the school books, so we don't know about this. All we know is about the individuals we see on TV that we can't reach, that we can't grab. But we also, I took it up on myself, I noticed that when a person can kind of like reach you, they're more inclined to want to listen to. So I wanted to make sure that you can reach me in any kind of way and be out there and show that I'm the same person like you. I've been through the same things like you, but also I'm not stuck there. And I found ways to overcome the barriers that may be holding us back. And I think a lot of our people are better learners that way, so to say. Get there in the mud, so to say.
Yeah. The get down in the trenches with you to show you how much I really care, because that's what I was really hearing is that you're displaying a genuine care, and with that, if I know you really love me or you really concerned about my well-being, I almost follow you to hell. You know what I'm saying? Just show me a way out of there. But you can get people to follow you, especially today, because some of the younger people are so absent in their life as far as real hope or real caring individuals, because this one didn't stick around or that one didn't stick around to show how important I actually was or am. You almost turn it into like a father figure to Flint, which is I applaud you for this, because it's been absent in our community, especially on a young level, for so many years. A lot of people have turned to the churches, and at the same time, the churches have not necessarily had the resources or the proper understanding in order to direct the young man's life, because they're just saying, well, this is this and this is what I've read, this is the Bible, blah blah blah. This is what you need to do, but they're like, no, I'm hungry right now. You know, so how do I make that transformation? You know, and you're saying that your organization is basically set up to try to do this,
Yes, sir.
to put people in the basically if they're on the wrong path to guide them to the right path.
Yes, sir. You know, something else I didn't know until I got a little older, after going through many of the pitfalls I've been through in my life, is the importance of having that father figure or that male role model, that positive male role model in your life, and how much it affects, especially young men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, I give so much credit to our women, those who raising children by themselves, you know, and some does a real good job, but just our gene makeup and our nature, you know, you can't teach a man certain things that it would take another man to teach that man when he goes outside of that home. I look at it like, you know, that woman, she's going to love that child, she's going to care for him and do the best she can. I applaud you. But at the same time, there's certain things that man needs to see from another person just like him. You know what I mean? Just has the same makeup as him.
Unity News is a power source for the citizens of Flint, Michigan, to voice their opinions on what needs to be done in the community.
Right, because I like to say that it's very special, you know, for a woman to take on that role. But it's a good job. It's just not a good idea because men being based upon so visual to you're telling me a manly thing to do and how to conduct myself responsibly. You know, I'm gonna try to instill those things in me. But at the end of the day, I'm still seeing a woman and still seeing her sometimes in her weakness and sometimes in her, you know, where she doesn't have the resources. And then you see a man, sometimes the hero that helps her with the car or helps her with the plumbing. I'm not saying that some women don't do those things on their own, but we also see some of those things in society where it's such a male dominant. But then when I look at you, Mom, and the things that you're trying to instill in me are male type things, but you're females. And so he goes out into the world. I think that's what happens to a lot of the young men. They keep seeking for another male influence, so they get tied up with sometimes with the wrong things. But you look like me, you sound like me, you act like me. I mean, which, like I said, has to do with a lot of the psychological problems that's going on with the young men, because they fall into that trap where you as the streets have raised them, and that's where they have been so much off astray on this wrong path. It sounds like, is that going to be easy to
No, it's not going to be easy, but you know, being involved in the streets and being someone that actually really lived it, you know, I got those wounds on me to show. You know, a lot of people know my background, you know, hustler, gangs, all that, because I've seen it. And so I really examined this before I got out here, and I said, I know how we yearn for that approval of another male. So I really like reversing it. It's a reverse. Now I'm putting it to positive peer pressure.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So to say, you know, our mentor is kind of like a positive, we just reversed it. Because I've been there. I understand that, like you just said, you know, okay, man, you did this, you're saying these things from a manly perspective, but at the same time, I'm still yawning when I see this individual where I see it on TV. And a lot of things on TV is propaganda. We got to start teaching our kids that, you know, it's there to make money, and we're just making money off, you know, false images of who we're supposed to be, things of this nature. So I think we got to get back to the root, the basics. You know what I mean? We got to be, as men, take back our communities. We really want to be involved with these young men and young women.
You're right.
You know, and these young women. So we're going to be working with all that.
Okay, I'm glad you pointed that, because even though there is a strong degree of young men that are misguided and trying to set them up as being the leaders, I believe, you know, some women may not agree with this, but most women by nature are followers, because the man, you know, being that predominant image that he has, and then him being the carer or putting the wings over the woman, if the man is going in the right way as far as her instinctable, you know, instincts that she has, then she'll follow the man who's going the right way, and they'll make the journey together. She'll be strong, help meet to him. So, you know, what about to those to the women that are out there that may be misguided because they've been following some of the wrong men and have the wrong attitude towards men as well as towards society. How are you gonna counter that as far as in your
Definitely,
organization?
and that's going to be, we got some strong women who are married, who have relationships. We have some who are divorced, who are not married.
Okay.
So we're going to be able to give them, elements and knowledge from both perspectives, and also from a man who used to, I used to have my way with women, being out in that world with the fast life, fast living, until I realized just how damaging that is, especially to our community.
Yeah.
When I look at our community, let me just take it there. And I started learning more about our history and things of this nature since slavery and prior to slavery. These are some of the behaviors we had to pick up on in slavery just to survive. Well, the chains came off our ankles, but they still on our mind.
Absolutely.
We're still carrying them. So it's all about like a debriefing, so to say, and walking you through it, because it can be a scary thing. Being open to some new knowledge can be a scary thing. So we just don't give you something and just say, here, go run with it. No, we walk you through it. We set examples, like an internship.
Okay.
Our mentoring is going to be like an internship. We're not going to let you be by yourself.
So will it be a lot of one-on-one, or will it be group sessions, or okay, and personalizing it as well, because you being that reachable. Do you think it might, because the needs are many, but the resources are few.
It's true. But where there's a will, there's a way.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that's why I'm big on economic development. Do for self. We have a self-sufficiency type attitude. We have to get back to looking at each other as a community. Group economics, group politics, group education. We have to look at each other as we taking care of our own. We have to get back to the old African proverb. It still takes a village to raise a child.
Right.
Type of mentality. If you study our history, when we were most in harmony and succeeding in life and in this country, we move like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's where the development and the resources begin to come, and you can pour those back into the community to help many and many, many more.
Okay. Now a lot of what you're talking about sounds absolutely fantastic. It's phenomenal. I can't wait to see it. Not just I know you're in the beginning stages of it, but to see it come to full fruition and see it blossom, especially in the Flint community. You sound like our old brothers of the Black Panthers, but a lot of the things that they were trying to, I guess basically what I'm asking, is there any difference between you and them? Because they had organizations, they fed the community, bringing eggs and milk to grandma, and
yes, sir. Those are like our heroes that we tend to not get learned about in our household or our school, this public school system. And you're absolutely right. I take a lot from it. But also I learn from the good and the bad. That's what's great about history and learning your own history. You know what I mean? Because you can take those good elements and put it in what you're trying to do now, and also learn from the mistakes.
Right.
And then you can evolve into something much greater. And that's the whole focus point. Using those examples like that. So you're absolutely right.
okay. Where do you see then? They, even though this organization has a worthy cause, where do you see you and the company 2, maybe 3 years or 5 years down the process? Down the pipeline, guide me down the pipeline as far as some of the things that you want to see change and that you're trying, as far as what you're trying to implement into the community. How do you see that happening? Is it going to be a year from now, 2 years, or how long is the journey is going to take?
We grinding hard every day because we know we gotta get some things more visible so people can reach to. So and within a year, God willing, I'm really hoping that we have a functional. I would prefer it to be a school, old closed school building, because that gives us the type of space, and I have a crazy business plan that will create jobs, housing, and things for individuals that we can really operate and be assets to the community. But on a smaller scale, you just start with a house. Every little bit counts. We'll build from there, and we'll continue to grow. So we just say within the year we have that house. Actually, we're working on a house right now.
Okay.
And then in 2 to 5 years we had that school. We had it up and running. So it's things of that nature.
Okay. So you saying within a year that once this one, you know, jumps off and everything is moved, that the sky's the limit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. With I don't know if this has ever been tackled with you, but it's been a question of mine as with you know, due to the election that went on as far as the board of education. I don't know if that necessarily you know, entwines with your organization that you have now, but with the this and that happened, Flint Journal, Channel 12 News, different things that was put out there, and it doesn't seem like you have let any of that, you know, deter you from like, okay, that just didn't happen, but I'm gonna do it this way. Looking back at that, are you possibly gonna try to you know where I'm going?
Shoot for another.
Shoot for another.
You know, I'm a strong rebel, man. It take a lot to keep me down. I've been through hell and back. You know what I mean? I've lost a lot of people out here in the nonsense. I've been shot, be in prison. You know, it takes a lot to stop me. You know, I learn a lot each time I go out there and put myself out there. You know, eventually down the road, I can see myself aspiring for another political position. Taking from what I learned from there and possibly become victorious the next time. So, and that's also key. You know, that's something key too. We're going to be teaching political awareness. That's part of our issues and problems in the community. Our young people are not properly educated on the importance of local politics. It's more than
how important
yeah.
how important it is, more than just voting for the president.
Yes, sir.
These things set up a whole lot of things in play. We're not out voting.
And voting for the right people and why we're voting.
Okay.
You know, that's just as important as well. Just because you look like me don't mean you're for it. You know what I mean? We have to get in it. Back to what I said, cool. We're a community. We're a whole. As African Americans, we have our own agendas. We have to get away from where minorities playing coalitions, because everyone who comes in, they benefit from our sacrificing, our bloodshed, but they wasn't suffering how we suffered. They wasn't getting the water hoses. They ain't dying. They ain't going to prison. But they benefit off those resources that the government provides and gives them because of poor leadership. You know, we're too busy considering ourselves as minorities. No, we have a black agenda. Just like everybody else has an Asian, Hispanic agenda, an Arab agenda. And that's fine and dandy because we live in a capitalistic democracy. So you have to start thinking for group self first. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying we don't work with other individuals.
Okay,
But you have to take care of home first. And when you're so far behind, you're at the bottom of everything, you can't be reaching somewhere else. You got to get it together first at home. You know what I mean? You can't say, let's go over here, spread it here, when they're not doing the same for you. You know what I mean? So you got to take care of your base, your community, and get that going. And once you have a model, and once you have this mindset, and once you have knowledge yourself, and you know who you are, then of course you go share that knowledge. You know, with individuals who want to practice brotherhood with you, because everybody ain't for it.
Right.
So you got to understand.
Even if they're of the same color.
Exactly. Because
I was going to ask that, you know, as far as the diversity, you know, that's going on in Flint with the low income, the lack of food, lack of water, you know, the lack of the resources that's going on. It's not just affecting us, you know, men of color. It's affecting white families as well. But then there are certain families that I see it's not affecting. Are you saying that your door may be closed to certain people?
No, I'm one. I have to learn this the hard way. You know, when I first jumped out here, started doing this, I was reaching to everyone across the table. Everyone gave me a smile. They wanted to help. But then, as you follow up, you do your part, you play in a position, you find these individuals are in bed with a lot of individuals who are well off and who have these individuals put in place in the community to keep us divided and backwards, so to say, from progressing to where we need to be. So that's where it goes to becoming politically educated, economically educated, educating our own on our history and things of this nature. You know, once you have a thorough knowledge of self and who you are, then you can become victims to someone's exploitation, even if they just look like you, because some people are very selfish and have their own career goals in mind. That's not what we elect you for. When a person is elected from a city council or wherever it may be, you represent those individuals who are putting you in office.
Right.
Their needs, their concerns, and those things.
You're becoming their voice.
Exactly.
but I only speak what you've been telling me to speak, and not my own agenda. Put that on the side. What else we need to talk? Is there any other things that you might want to share, or as far as the establishment that you're placing out there now, this new entity, this new venture? Who are you? Speak to the people. Who? Let them know.
We like you said, we open to working with anyone who's serious about changes. A concern for all of us. We all need to be out here organizing, strategizing, not just protesters and walking because we don't walk seldom, and we got inspired to come together, and that's a great thing. But have a strategy, have a plan behind it. I know for myself, I'm working with some individuals that are getting ready to do another forum. Like I told them, I express, I love to give out water. I love to be in the trenches with you and let you know I understand because I'm suffering just like you. But how long can we do that? We gotta take it to the next
without
level.
a result.
So what I took it upon myself, I have a lawyer. I have a lawyer in place that I'm gonna be open-minded to anyone who has the courage that's suffering from this water issue. Just put it all together. And let's put this lawyer in place to be our voice. And let's take a charge and let's get some things done. Let's hold our city officials accountable. Those who've been put in position to govern us. One of the things that they asked me on, I was on the Tom Sumner show the other day, and they had asked about something about the mayor and do I think he's doing a good job now with this. The thing that bothers me is this been going on for quite some time. And then it's all of a sudden we in an election year. Now we go get these $40,000 individuals come test the water and things of this nature. However, and everybody will blame it on the EM. They need a scapegoat to get out of what they're trying to do. This is political now. Before they even changed this water over, why wasn't this test? A real leader would have had this testing done before we changed it over to see if it was safe for people to drink and things of this nature. So that's the kind of accountability. We have to be accountable. I would love to hear them come out and say, you know what, we messed up.
Just be honest.
We messed up. Because like individuals like myself, the minute something goes wrong, we told you, like they did with the M.A.D.E thing. And I already told you, my organization is built on reforming criminals.
Right.
I never hit it. You know what I mean? So my thing is, you're going to be accountable. You're up under the same constitution that I'm on. So you're going to be accountable. We elect you in. And our people have to become politically educated and have to be out there and say, you know what? You did a bad job. How do we fire you? With them votes. Let's get somebody in who understands the issue, who really cares about all of us, not one side of the city. Because when you're the mayor, you're the face of the whole city. You don't represent from 5th Street downtown and on back.
Right.
You represent us all. Right. So that's kind of like, where I'm at on some of those things.
Okay. And I'm just seeing your action in the community with that, handing out the water, and seeing the posts. I mean, the real getting in there, grinding. People talking about putting in work. I'm like, nah, that brother putting in work. That other stuff that he did do in the past, I don't know about that. This, I would say, I put my stamp of approval on that. This is real work when it has to do with unselfish means, and it's about the community, it's about people. That's where true prosperity, begins to start evolving. I mean, the prosperity as far as the inwardness of the man, the satisfaction, as well as I believe monies will come to that as well, because people want to give because your cause is so worthy, and there ought to be accolades afterwards that you can live and sustain your family on it as well.
That's something like, when I'm mentoring these men and women, that's the first thing I tell them. Don't worry about the money. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, and it's from the heart, I do it for the sake of pleasing my Lord first, and then my love for people. And if you have an understanding of scripture, then this is what you're supposed to do. This is what all the prophets did. Whatever religion you follow, that doesn't get into conflict with the work that I'm doing. I deal with real people.
Right.
You know what I mean? To this day, I don't have a 501c yet. We applied for it.
Okay.
So everything we doing comes from our pocket. Hard-earned dollars, giving it back. If it was, this is what I explained to some people. It was like, if they question it, what is he really doing it for? It's not for me. This is my money. I'm giving it back to the community because I understand where you at. I want to help in any kind of way that I can. So when you start coming out there like that, I think then you start bringing the right people. You'll see the right people who feel like you, who see that vision, who really care. And then when you come together as a coalition, we can start really getting some things done.
I know it's definitely that people flock, whatever reason it is, but people will definitely flock towards genuine, you know, genuine ventures or a person's genuineness, the realness of them. One of my heroes, Tupac, he had that certain degree about him that he was a part of this that might not have, you know, been some BS. But I'm gonna tell you the real as far as my perspective, even from my weak point to the way I messed up, even to I was valiant in this area and I did a good job. He let it all be known and had such a love for the people that I believe if, you know, due to his too soon a demise, we probably would have seen him somewhere eventually. He's the president or something, or somewhere in a political view.
It's funny you say it, that's one of my inspirations.
Yeah, okay, good.
That's definitely one of my
That's something in common right there.
and where did he get his knowledge from?
That's why I brought up even the other things earlier.
Exactly.
As far as, but he was right there, hands-on with seeing it and getting the understanding as far as what it was really meant to be. And I believe that's what he was trying to do in his music. He took a journey off of his road due to trying to honor an agreement. But I believe if he had stayed on that path and there was no interventions, we would still see Tupac, and he probably would be somewhere around Flint, I believe, hanging with it.
And another key thing you said too is, when we get off into our mention, he's a prime example to learn from. We was talking about the positive role models. A lot of his teachers are in prison.
Yeah.
Those older men who had knowledge that would guide him and knew how to calm him down when he was kind of getting off track. Can you imagine if they were still here, guiding him as you said?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I often wonder about that. And that's why I think it's so, valiant as far as what you're doing. You would be placed among those heroes. And well,
I got a long way to go.
the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. I say it's just as far as what you are doing. Hats off, clap. The people need that. But one of the questions that I had was that, are you threatened that you'll possibly be looked at as a little too radical, or that, I hate to fall back on that, but the black man he's angry and that's all that he's doing, and check his because they're gonna bring up your past no matter how much. Right, even though it's like I'm not that man, and let the new works prove who I am now. But are you prepared for that?
Most definitely. And the M.A.D.E was one of the shots at, and that let me know I'm doing something right. That lets me know I'm doing something right, and that makes me go harder.
Okay.
When you think you gotta come from the left side with something, and you think you're doing something, when already the real people who know, they gonna still follow me regardless. They gonna rock with it regardless, because I've been upfront and truthful from the start, and I'm gonna be that way from the middle to the end. I don't mind being, if you want to call me militant, the angry black man, if you ain't mad at the conditions that you in, there's something wrong with you.
Right.
So
no matter what color you are,
whatever color you are.
Right.
If you're not mad with the conditions that we living up under right now, it's something wrong. You have become a separatist.
Yeah, we can't be elbow to elbow and you not be mad too. We live under the same, the same conflict. I really enjoyed this, man. I really got to, talk to you, get a little bit more intimate as far as where you at. We had some other things, some discussions we had that were not on camera, but we probably.
Unity News is a power source for the citizens of Flint, Michigan, to voice their opinions on what needs to be done in the community.
Nonetheless, this was a pleasure, and I hope that I wish you greatness. Usually, you get everything that you need as far as trying to help the people.
Appreciate that, man.
With that, that's your boy Antoine Brown representing Unity News. We got my man Leon. We doing it big in the community. Y'all be blessed. Take care.